Yes. Oh my God, this has happened so many times with me.
Is it fake meat? So I want to be a real snob right now and rip this apart. Welcome everybody to the IMTS YouTube channel. Today we've got an exciting programming for you. We are going to do some reaction videos this is effectively the start to a reaction series that we want to put on. And today's reaction video is a programmer reacts, and the programmer being AMT's very own and very special Alka. She's going to react to some 3D printing programming fails, because you've done some 3D printing yourself and you've got a 3D printer at home, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, let's see what some of these people did wrong. It already looks like a bird's nest. What is that?
Is that the video we are watching?
What is that material that they're printing on? That doesn't look like a glass bed. It also looks like it's sticking.
It is, yes. And I think it's sticking.
Yeah, you can see it like curling up on the end, right?
And that is a very common failure that happens.
Like the part
in
warps?
3D. Yes, it does.
Okay.
And the reason is the filament may be dry.
Is the extrusion head, like that part of the machine that looks like a spark plug? I think that's where the material's coming out, right?
Yes, and it seems
It looks like it's loose.
Yes, it is loose.
I don't think it's supposed to be tilting like that.
I had old 3D printer
Yeah.
from MT.
This was back when we were in the old building.
Yes, and I tried to print my name, ALKA. I could only do AL.
Uh-huh. What happened?
It just didn't work.
It
It
seized
kept
after
breaking, yeah.
You couldn't even make it through one part cycle. Yeah, have you done an overnight part run before?
I have not done an overnight, but I have done where I've left it to itself and come back and it's all scrunched up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
So you've tried like effectively like some lean manufacturing, some like lights out manufacturing where you set it and forget it. And
Yes. And then
you
come
walk
back.
away with like the best intentions and you come back and it's a total mess?
Yes.
Oh man. How often does that happen? Or have you gotten good at it to the point where you can actually trust your machine now?
Now I can trust my machine. I know the reason. If I leave if I leave the filament in the machine and don't use the machine for months, it becomes dry.
Oh.
And that's when it starts wrapping up.
I had that happen to me with a fountain pen once. Fountain pens don't like me, but I didn't know that 3D printers were almost the same thing. That's manual additive right there, I guess.
Yep.
Let's keep going. It's still 3D printing? Oh, there's actually parts on the bed. That looks like some sort of holder. Because like 3D printing, it's supposed to be layer by layer. It's one layer at a time.
Yeah.
And there's so many different like elevations in the part that, and I think there's something in there in the workpiece that looks like a bearing or like a donut. And now the head is totally off.
Yeah, right. Now it's breaking. Now it's broken.
Okay,
now
so
it's
there are
falling down.
parts of the machine in the print pool, the material pool that they've created.
It can actually destroy your 3D printer.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Tip of the extruder.
Isn't that really fragile?
It is.
And those need to be cleaned regularly,
yes,
right?
Right.
Wow.
To be completed Lamborghini replica, maybe the first of its kind built in Colorado, all courtesy of 3D printing. Jacqueline Quinn live this morning. It's hard to believe a good portion of that car was printed in somebody's basement.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, it took about
So they
a
father-son duo 3D printed a Lamborghini.
Today, and the family that put this together, they really hope to get this on the road by
Okay,
next
pause.
spring.
So I want to be a real snob right now and rip this apart and saying that like, you know, the fit and finish of a Lamborghini is so high quality and so well made that it simply can't be replicated by the surface finish that is typically found in additive manufacturing. However, Lamborghini is one of those awesome companies that's actually been using additive since the 90s. They've been using, I think the majority of back in the 90s, they were using additive manufacturing to produce some small batch parts, because Lamborghinis are small batch cars. But they were making a limited part run of, I think, a bracket or some sort of housing in the headlights. But so this is not totally atypical as much as I want to frown upon it, but this is cool.
And they also want to use this as a vehicle to help educate.
Starts. Oh my God, keep it off the road,
Some dream
please.
of the day they can take home a Lamborghini. It's one of the most prized luxury sports cars on the planet.
What we would do is jump into a Lamborghini Aventador and we would drive it around.
No, Xander Bacchus isn't a millionaire. Not yet.
What's the
anyway.
craziest thing you've
But he and
printed
his
so
dad
far?
have driven a Lambo.
I tried to 3D print a shoe.
A shoe?
Yeah,
Did you have it molded to your foot?
but my bed was too small.
Oh, the bed of the
Of
printer.
my 3D printer.
Oh man. So what Alka just said, like, she
Yeah.
wanted to print a shoe for herself, but the bed of her 3D printer was too small. My first thought to that would be you would have to print multiple parts, at least more than one part, and then fabricate them, assemble them to make a shoe.
Yes.
I'm sure they did the same thing with this Lamborghini. Because you look at the door or the door panel or the hood, that would have to be multiple parts. There's no way. I mean, it gave us a close-up of the 3D printer they're using, and it's not big enough to make, like a hood panel. So they had to have done this in multiple parts just to make something like a hood. And they didn't show in the video, at least not yet, on how they put the different parts together to make one part. The different work pieces together to make one part, better said.
They did show in IMTS 2012, Local Motors was
Yeah.
3D printing the Rally Fighter. I think
That was
it
printed.
was one piece.
That was one piece. So you're right. That was one piece, but I think they had a additive, like a material extruder
Yeah.
as an end effector, as end of arm tooling on a robot arm.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
and the robot was positioned around the car to print it. Or the car may have been rotated. But there was a big robot
Yes.
that was doing the printing.
Yeah.
Which, it's a massive 3D printer that they had to
Yeah.
make that car for Local Motors. They had to have done that in multiple work pieces and then assembled it together. Ooh, what happened here?
Fake meat.
Is it fake meat? 3D printed fake meat.
They do 3D print Valentine candies.
Oh, really?
Yes. Fat, blood, muscle. There's no muscle to it. There's a walk, there is a way.
Oh,
What?
so, okay. I think, is this a recent video? This came out recently. I actually posted the article. I didn't know there was a video to it. I posted the article in our Industry News Slack channel.
Yeah.
And it got a bit of attention around the office. But it also got unwanted attention from Vanessa, who will be on in another video. She was like, Steven, that's cool, but I may have to leave Industry News after that one. Because let's just put it this way, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. And I don't know. It looks like ground beef being extruded to make like a cut of beef, and it's like, that's not how this works. You can't go in reverse.
We analyze the different components that make those beautiful cuts and try to figure out which are the key components that we need to mimic in order to achieve those beautiful cuts of meat. We identified three main components: the muscle,
So
the
this is like
blood, and the fat.
Beyond Meat?
These are the components that we need to mimic in order to reach
Yeah, I
the
think
perfect-
Beyond Meat's cool and all. And I went to CES in 2020, and they had White Castle sliders that were made with Beyond Meat. But my beef with them, beef. My problem with the Beyond Meat stuff is it says it's plant-based meat or plant-based meat-like products, and it's like, there's a term for plant-based. It's called produce. Why didn't they just say produce based? Then it would actually sound like real food. But now it just sounds like they're trying to cater to, flower power. Well, thanks everybody for joining us. If you liked what you saw today, like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to suggest us to react to something else in the future, go ahead and put that in the comments down below. Thanks for joining us, and thank you, Alka. This has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Thank you, Steven.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.